this on? Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, and welcome to the Harbor Winds Winter Concert entitled Reminiscence. This is a year of change for Harbor Winds. Until 2022, Harbor Winds was directed by one of its founders, Eric Swanson. You'll hear a bit more about Eric later in the program, but when he took a leave of absence for personal and professional reasons in 2022, Harbor Winds first went on a course of guest conductors, and then in 2023 hired Minna Stelzner as our interim conductor for the 2023-2024 season. In the summer of 2024, the Narrows Music Society Board undertook a search for our next permanent conductor and received applications from a number of very qualified candidates. Making her inaugural appearance with us, I am pleased to present to you this afternoon Harbor Winds' new conductor and artistic director. Mel Brazley has been director of bands and percussion at First Creek Middle School in Tacoma for the past 10 years. A saxophonist at her core, or saxophonist, as we're called, for doing a solo at Leroy Hall. Mel has performed with South Sound Symphonic Band and Formation Wind Band in Seattle for a number of years. Mel brings her own offbeat humor and style to the group, and we're delighted to have added Mel to our ranks. So please join me in welcoming Mel Brazley in her first concert as Harbor Winds conductor and artistic director.
I would like to talk a little bit about the first piece on the program because it is kind of a little weird one, and I apologize if you cannot hear me when I'm talking on the microphone. Please say something. As you can hear, my voice is going. I have the middle school teacher sickness. It's going away, hopefully. So this program is about reminiscence. Each composer wrote a piece about a person, a place, or a thing that is very near and dear to their hearts. And in the first one, Hounds of Spring is about that first love, that spring feeling of being in love with your person. Like that moment where like the butterflies are flying and you know it is like, that is the person that is for me, whether it be present or past or wherever they are, and it's based on a poem which is in your program. The title comes from the poem, so that's why it's a spring tune on a winter concert. It's more about the reminiscent theme of that young love, so I hope you enjoy the Hounds of Spring. Check, 1, 2. Oh, hey, it's on. Good. Our next piece up here is called A Childhood Remembered. The composer, I'm going to stand over here because I feel like I'm going to fall off the stage. The composer wrote this for his late partner that always had this sort of effervescent childlike quality to him, and he was always kind of goofing around. And so it's sort of an homage to his partner, so you can kind of hear some darkness in the middle because unfortunately his partner passed away in 2015. So you'll hear a little bit of darkness, but it always comes back to the light. It always comes back to like the bubbly childhood effervescentness of childhood's past. So we hope you enjoy A Childhood Remembered. Up next in our program, this composer comes from Mexico, and she always talks about how, and you can read it in your program notes, she talks about how she was inspired by where she grew up in Mexico, and her favorite genre of music was the danzón. So this is Sahuaro, which is based on a cactus, that she'd always pass by the same cactus going from her hometown to the water. I believe the water, it says in the program notes, where a family member lived. And so she was inspired by this cactus, this very strong, very independent looking cactus, but also that danced. So you'll kind of see a little bit of dancing up here as we play, and we hope you enjoy Sahuaro. my very festive trumpet section back there. They had permission to do that. Before we move on, there's not going to be an intermission except for Corey talking. So while that's happening, Corey's going to say some few words about stuff, and then we're going to carry on with the rest of our concert and all of our fun and goodness. So without further ado, your president, Mr. Corey.
Thank you, Mel. Okay, so we've got a couple of things to talk about, and the first thing is something that this guy hates being showcased. Eric Swanson, come on. Come on. Face the audience. You can hold this for a moment. So as part of our transition to Mel Brazley as our new conductor and artistic director, we would like to recognize one of the people who was integral to the creation and development of Harbor Winds as Gig Harbor's community band, and indeed one of the only community bands on the Kitsap Peninsula. In late 2012 and into 2013, a small group of local musicians saw a need for an adult community band, which would not only give local musicians an opportunity to perform wind ensemble literature, but would also support local music education. Eric Swanson, who had become the director of bands at Gig Harbor High School not too long before that, was part of that group. Eric also conveniently had a band room, a music library, and percussion equipment, which really helps a newly forming group that needs a band room, library, and percussion equipment. So, on March 10, 2013, the Narrows Music Society, which included the Harbor Winds Concert Band, was formally founded with Eric as the conductor and artistic director, and also one of the formal incorporators of the group. Under Eric's direction, Harbor Winds became a valuable part of the Gig Harbor musical community, adding to the Peninsula Community Chorus, which performed here yesterday afternoon, and the Gig Harbor Peninsula Civic Orchestra, which performed here last night. We're thrilled and grateful that Eric provided the foundation for Harbor Winds to succeed as a community band over the last 11 years, and to continue to provide opportunities for local young musicians to perform. So, we're taking a moment or five to thank Eric this afternoon for his contribution to the Gig Harbor community music scene. As Harbor Winds continued to perform over the decade, if there's one thing the group learned for sure from Eric's programming and from looking around his band room, it was that he was a huge fan of John Williams' music, and perhaps even a bigger fan of the media empire known as the Star Wars universe. With that in mind, we'd like to present Eric with a token of Narrow Music Society's and Harbor Winds' gratitude for his 12 years of work for us. Go ahead and pull that out of this side. No, I'll take that. Good. So, I don't know well how you can see this, but it's a laser engraved piece of artwork depicting a red sun, the Death Star. Do I need to say that that's from Star Wars? I hope not. And a couple of TIE fighters. If you need to know, those were flown by the bad guys from the Empire. On the back, signed by the members of Harbor Winds, the inscription reads, "For your support of the Gig Harbor music community and your founding and direction of the Harbor Winds Concert Band, from your grateful friends at the Narrows Music Society, December 15, 2024. So, thank you, Eric, for having been the creative force behind Harbor Winds. The Gig Harbor community is doing that. So let me wrap up this break by mentioning a couple of things. First, again, in support of our music education, support for the students in our music community, we've got a young artist concert on March 2nd in the afternoon back at Gig Harbor High School. We'll be featuring student soloists from this school, from the Peninsula High School Band Program, as well as the Gig Harbor High School Band Program, who will be backed by Harbor Winds. So that's definitely something to look forward to. The concert will also feature Gig Harbor's honors middle school musicians. With them, we'll be playing a couple of pieces that the Regional Honors Middle School Band will have done. So this is all part of our effort to support local young musicians and local music education. music education. So we hope that you'll put that on your calendar and join us. We also will have our last concert of the year on May 31st in the evening. That concert will have a maritime theme. The last thing I need to mention before we get back to Percy Grainger and the rest of our program is the always request for donations. We almost exclusively rely on member and audience support for what we do. We hope we provide a good thing for the community with these concerts, and by our efforts to feature the young musicians in our community in one concert a year. But these things don't come cheap. Music purchases alone can run from $150 per piece and up. Plus we have venue fees, conductor fees, etc. You can imagine. So if you're able to help out, if you feel that we're providing something valuable, we ask you to give if you can. We had a suggested concert donation of $10 per person and an instrument case outside that's just waiting for cash donations. But if you have a business or would like to sponsor the group in a more substantial fashion, please visit our website, narrowsmusicsociety.org, and see our different sponsorship levels and what you get in return, from listings at concerts to possibly a table outside to public mentions, up to getting a personalized performance from players in this group and other Narrows Music Society groups. We also have sponsorship options that include sponsoring a piece of music, sponsoring a musician, and even guest conducting, which can be a great gift for someone who always wanted to get in front of a large music organization. We have, I see the wheels spinning. Who can I give a guest conducting gig to? We have QR codes on our banners outside that will take you to the website. So we hope you've enjoyed the concert so far. We hope you continue to enjoy it. That's it for me. We return you to our regularly scheduled programming. Please enjoy the rest. Mel Brazley.
Up next on our program here, this composer, Katahj Copley, grew up with Studio Ghibli music, and so this is his whole homage to the composer of almost all of them except for, not Princess Mononoke, the other one. It should say in your program notes, I forget it off the top of my head, but it's sort of his version of like his paying tribute. He's reminiscing about his childhood when he would just wake up on Saturday morning and watch My Neighbor Totoro and all of those excellent, excellent films. So this one depicts the story of a butterfly. It's like hatching. It's kind of tumultuous life because it's tiny and terrified and fragile, and then ending with its wonderful flight. It's life. It's great. It's colorful. There's lots of interesting harmonies and lots of fun noodly bits for our woodwinds. So we hope you enjoy Dragonfly. And yes, noodly bits is a technical term. something totally and completely different. We have up next Cait Nishimura's Echoes of a Northern Lake, and if you've been to any South Sound Symphonic Band concert in the last 5.5 years, you will have heard pretty much almost all of Cait Nishimura's music, because John Weatherington and I both love how she orchestrates stuff. So Cait Nishimura is a Canadian Asian composer. I think she's Japanese. It's in the program. Listen, brain, worky, Sudafed, okay. So, those people that are laughing are teachers, they get it. Okay, so she writes a lot about nature. She finds inspiration a lot in nature, and being from Canada, she lives in a place that's not really populated. She gets to see it all the time. So this is her reminiscence about the time where she was growing up on the Northern Lake. She's not gonna say where for her own privacy, of a northern lake somewhere in Canada. And this has also kind of got her out of her composing slump during COVID, because she wasn't quite sure if she was going to continue composing, what was going to happen. So she kind of thought back to her good childhood memories of the lakefront property, and this kind of was one of the pieces that came out of her time there. So we hope you enjoy Echoes of a Northern Lake. very pretty. I love Cait Nishimura's music because she just orchestrates everything so beautifully. And up next, it would not be a winter concert without some holiday-themed music. Up next, we have The Holly and the Ivy. This is a really interesting arrangement of it. It's not your typical carol that you're going to hear people out on the street singing. It's kind of got a little more rhythm to it and a little jazzier. And in the program notes, there weren't any, so I wrote them. So what you're reading is what I came up with, and so I would like to, every time I hear this piece, I'm just thinking, sitting in front of my fireplace with hot chocolate and a thing of Legos and just watching some movies. And so I would like to dedicate this to my friends who also like to do Legos and have hot chocolate and go caravanning with me all the time. So this performance of Holly and the Ivy is for you. We hope you enjoy. And again, one of my fondest memories of high school band was always at the end of whatever winter concert was, we would always don our gay apparel and play Sleigh Ride. So we have for you our encore for tonight with everyone with all their festive hats. Oh my gosh, that has antlers in it. I love it. Yes. See, this is why I love band. No matter how old you are, it's still fun. This is why I love this. So, our encore for this evening is our festively donned Sleigh Ride.
That's it. It is now.
Thank you so much for being here tonight on a Sunday. I really appreciate it, especially I think there's a sports ball happening at some point. After this, the lobby is that way, yes? For those who've been here, okay. After this, there are refreshments and snackage in the lobby if you'd like to join us there afterwards. Musicians have stuff they need to do that we've already talked about, yes, and then we'll meet out there for celebrations and fun stuff. All right, again, thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you in the lobby.
Thank you.